Hey everyone, welcome to the Basin. It's good to have you guys.
Welcome to the Basin.
Yeah, welcome to the Basin. That's awesome. So, so we have another episode of the podcast. So we've talked a lot about relationship.
Yep.
Some people are asking us if we are relationship experts and
We're
gurus.
not. Nope.
But I think from our life experiences, we've learned a lot and we've grown together as well. So today we're going to talk about long distance relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think we had our own long distance relationship. We've experienced it. We've known people who are in it. So I think I would be speaking from my experience in long distance relationship. But I'm excited about the topic because I think it's an interesting thing that not everyone is willing to walk through. If life happens, does that really mean that relationship is done? I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah, and the quote that comes to mind, and I love to start with a quote, and I always sound like a wise man, like a wise elderly man, like a grandfather. So let me be like a grandfather with some gray hair. The quote is something like, distance means nothing when someone means a lot to you. So if someone is very significant to you, distance means very little.
Yeah.
It's funny because maybe we can talk about a little bit about us, like how we dated. So you and I dated, we intend to get married, we courted for 4 years. And 2 years of that, you and I were in proximity, even though we're still a little far away. You were 1 hour drive to say, by proximity, but we were seeing each other pretty often. So those 2 years, we got to know each other a little bit more. We did things together. We went shopping together. We went to stores. We went to school together. Did your, grad program and all that. So we did life together. We're getting to know each other pretty well. However, things kind of changed because I had to leave for another 2 years. Yeah. So we basically had
dating with you not being present.
No kidding. We had 2 years. We had 2 years of you and I
tried
far away from each other. Is it that you tried or we tried? So it was 2 years of long distance, and basically we probably saw each other less than a handful. We saw each other maybe less than 5.
3 times a year.
Yeah, for those 2 years. We didn't even see each other often. It was mostly talking on the phone. Maybe do FaceTime as much as we can. But that was, I would say, the period that we did long distance was a very testing time to really see if we're truly committed to what it is that we're committed to. So you and I being in a relationship, those 2 years we were together. We spent a lot of time, I love you, you love me. And I remember I used to wear blazer all the time, and I love to joke around. Every single blazer I had, hey guys, every single blazer jacket I wore, you always had a lipstick on it. I was I have no clue. Every blazer.
Everyone hears lipstick, they'll think we're having sex or something.
No. You would kiss. It was a hug or either.
And stuff.
No. There was always, and I would get new blazer, and you'll be the first person to put a stain on my blazer, on my jacket. So it's everything always had your stain on it. And it was no, but it was that 2 years was interesting because we had to grow together, but we also felt when we had to be long distance away from each other, we also had to find a way to navigate, but we had the goal in mind. So you and I were in this together, knowing that the ultimate goal is marriage. We had an intent to. So I was away for you. I moved away from where we were, and then we had to basically maneuver what we call life. Right? I had a busy life. I had to, then I had to go for. I've been in school for too long. I had to go for audition to school and whatever, and then I had to transition, but I decided to stay. but I had to figure out a lot to manage that relationship. But I was that like, being away from, know that we're long distance. And when I say long distance, it's not like I have to drive 2 hours. This is like 5 hours. Yeah, it's across the nation. This is like a 5 hours flight.
Yeah.
I had a busy life. You were working most of the time. You had your full-time job. You had your full-time life. I had my full-time life going for me as well. So what would you say kept us engaged throughout that period?
I think it was commitment. Like in my heart, I knew that I was committed to you. I wasn't testing the waters or trying to figure out if he's the one. I knew that you were the one.
Nah.
And that was what kept it. Because,
Yeah.
as you know, there are a lot of guys who are not like.
I know a lot of interesting guys. Yeah, a lot of interesting guys that came around.
Anyway, so she's still open. I don't care.
And he didn't put a ring on it. So
Yeah.
even when I put a ring on it, those guys were still coming around.
Like, she's not married. She's still open. He's not here. So a lot of guys were still like actively making it known that they wanted to be with me while you were here.
Yeah.
But I knew in my heart that I was with the man that I was going to be with for the rest of my life. So I wouldn't take any chances to mess that up.
Oh man.
But that doesn't mean it was easy. I remember just as you were speaking, I'm just thinking through what that looked like for me. I was very angry during that period because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. It felt like I missed you, but I'm someone that typically bottles my emotions. When I feel something, I can say, I just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
I don't like to be too emotional to anyone whatsoever, which is not really a good thing. I need to learn to express my emotions. But back then, I don't like to express myself or keep it to myself. So I felt like my missing you came across as anger when I did see you. Because I was like, you're never here. And the ones that I don't care to be with are always here.
I know. I heard that word. I heard that word a few times. Like, you're not here. You're not available. And I'm like, I'm definitely. I wasn't playing around. I wasn't somewhere playing around. And that's an interesting dynamic too, because the twist to that is you're a homebody.
Yeah.
So it's like really long distance for different people mean different things. Like you are happy. You're in your happy place, the same place. You can be in the same house and not leave your house. You're okay with that, like for days,
But it's different, right, baby?
Yeah.
Then you were physically away. It wasn't like you and I were hanging out.
Yeah.
At that point, the feeling I had was the guys I cared nothing to be with. I saw them as friends, but the ones I didn't have any romantic feelings for were everywhere around me. They were making it known that I am here for you, Eva. And that made me feel angry because I knew I was committed to you. But in my commitment to you, I was not able to like enjoy the things girls and girlfriends enjoy with their men.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I was like, why, Lord? So it was 2 years of like, we made it work because I was committed. And I think that's what people in long distance relationship need to have on both sides, to know that as a lady and for you as a guy, that your partner is committed. Nothing's going to happen. But in the midst of that, I'm not going to lie, I was angry. But I think when I look back at that period of time, I'm grateful for it now.
Yeah.
Because it just shows that even at that period, I don't know, I want you to talk about your experience too. Even at that period, for me, I feel like I knew that I was with my person.
Yeah, it was an interesting time too, because now I'm thinking back, there was, I was meeting other people, but just the way I'm wired, I'm very focused on what I'm here for, and just getting that out of the way. So I wasn't really looking at other people, but but then I realized that there were some ladies that were like, oh, this guy doesn't have any girl, even though they knew that I had a girl somewhere else, but they didn't take it seriously because they were like, they're gonna break up, something's gonna happen, and they were hoping that, and I realized there were like possibilities of matchmaking me with specific people, But again, I didn't. There was no interest, and my focus. I already knew like it was you, and when I moved away, I already had it in mind. This is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. So it was more of a preparation for me. It's like I went away to prepare a place for you so you can be part of it. So it was that approach, and anybody else,
Like Jesus.
like, no, literally, the metaphor aligns with what Jesus, Jesus says, I need,
So that where I am, you two can be also.
I need to go away, I need to go away so I can prepare a place for you. If I'm with you always, I can't go to where I'm supposed to be. But I do.
Wow, you really sound like Jesus now.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part of long distance. I do think long distance relationship, especially spending time with young adults, sitting down with guys and talking to them too, who are going to the same like long distance and trying to get close to the girl. It really gives you the opportunity to explore, yourself, explore your heart, explore the direction that you want to go with this relationship. I mean, sometimes you might go through long distance and you might have a lot of time to think for yourself and reflect on that relationship. And you might get to a point that maybe myself and this person, we're not fully aligned. And that might not be possible if you're seeing each other all the time and emotionally involved with each other, that it's hard to say no, or it's hard to say there's a possibility because you guys have been so emotionally intertwined.
Yeah, so are you advocating for distance in relationship? Like when you're dating to have like a long distance period?
No, I wouldn't advocate for long distance, but I would always advocate for boundaries. I do think.
Boundaries while you're dating? What do you mean?
No, meaning that while you're dating, you're not married yet.
Yeah.
Right? You should always give opportunity for yourself to still establish you as an individual. And that might be being your own person.
You don't lose yourself.
You don't lose yourself. It's not like everything is built around this girl or this guy. You are basically able to be your own person up front, because if you're a lady and the guy has not even, you're not married yet, the point is you have a lot of opportunities to establish. Your world should not be built around somebody that you're not married to. There's no, so the point of marriage is absolutely, I'm all for you, you all for me. But if you're not going to that point, you have a lot of freedom. And I'm not saying freedom to, to take advantage of the person you're with, but in terms of like establishing your own self, to reflect on what's best for you, what's good for you. And those are really good conversations to have.
So what I'm hearing you say is that when you're dating, even if you're committed to your partner, don't start playing husband and wife until
don't start doing wifey. You're no wife. You're not a wife.
Until you get the ring, you're in a committed marriage.
No, don't start.
If you're not married, you're not married.
No, if you're not married, you're not married. So if there's no there's no marriage certificate, there's no religious religious wedding.
You're still not a wife until you're a wife.
No, even when you get a ring, I mean, until you're fully married. That's why I said until there's a certificate of marriage and you guys are living together, married officially. But without that, you as an individual should have the authority to establish yourself, to grow as a person, to challenge yourself. And even as a lady, if your prospect is, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but that's not an opportunity for you to be lazy. But it's an opportunity to prepare yourself, learn skills. You can be a stay-at-home mom and still learn skills. So you can be the best version of yourself. You want to be, you want to be of value. You don't want to be a liability to the other person.
That's true.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, are you saying that the quote initially said, when you love someone, I'm going to paraphrase, distance means nothing.
Yeah.
So there are people who say, oh, he or she is traveling long distance, so we have to break up. In essence, that might be like, in my head, I'm thinking that just shows that there probably was no commitment.
That just shows there was no, that just shows that the heart was not in the right place in the first place.
For you to break up because of distance. is, yeah.
If as a person, you cannot, the point of when I say use the word boundary is that you should be able to be alone and be okay with it.
While in a relationship.
While in a relationship, not when you're married, but while you're in a relationship. So meaning that if that person say, hey, I'm going to be out, for a while for work or whatever, it doesn't have to be like long distance physically, but you should be able to say, I have things to focus on. I have things I'm passionate about, or you have skill, you have things. Let your passion be directed not to that person.
You're saying some good stuff.
No. Yeah, absolutely. I always say good stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, your passion should be directed to the right things. It shouldn't be directed to the other person. You'll be doing the other person the service if you put all your eggs on that individual while you guys are going through the long distance relationship or while you guys are still in that relationship. You should upskill, grow yourself, have a passion, discover yourself. And that's an opportunity while there's an intent for marriage and you guys are growing together. Yeah. Because when you come in and the person see you, they'll be motivated by you.
They'll be proud of you.
They'll be proud and inspired by you because you are becoming the best version of yourself. You definitely want the best version EJ, you want the best version boss. Yeah. And that comes with individually growing. And when we come together, I'm not waiting for you to complete me because I'm already whole and complete.
In other words,
you're spanking me now.
in other words, don't let your world revolve around that person.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, he completes me. Oh, she completes me. And I'm like, so you were incomplete until this person came?
No.
You should be 100% complete and whole without them. So you have 200% whole people coming together to make a perfect union. Yes, there's going to be like things happening, but it's two whole people, fully whole and complete, coming together. I always detest that word, you complete me.
You complete me. Why don't we do this, right? Maybe this is not... This is not mathematically correct, but we can go with this. So the goal of being whole is not half plus half becomes one. It's 1 + 1 becomes 1.
Oh, I'm gonna keep hitting you.
Stop it. Hey guys, what do you guys call this? Is this man abuse? Because my wife has been like hitting me for a little bit there.
1 + 1 = 1. I'm excited about what you're saying because I feel like so many, because of our generation and the generation before us, we have the younger generation coming in and looking for people to complete them. Yeah. So not figuring out who the Lord made them to be.
Absolutely.
Not their identity, not sitting on who I am, who am I?
No.
Father, what's my purpose? What am I meant to do? You're just sitting there saying, I want a date. I want a
date. I need a man. I need a woman.
You're spending pursuing a person, and the person that comes to you is equally as broken as you are, and then you wonder why your relationship is falling apart.
So when you see this way, you become ready. For marriage when you don't need the other person.
What do you mean? Say that again.
So when you're cutting, you become ready for marriage when you're not needing from a place of you're not dependent
on the other person.
Emotionally on the other person.
I agree with that.
So when you get to a point and you're thinking to yourself, I cannot live with that person. I need to see this person every day. I need to hug. But when your emotions and your whole world is tied to this individual, there's no opportunity for you to discover yourself because there's so much that's bottled up. No, there's so much that's bottled up as an individual. And I want you to see, I want to see the whole you. I want to see the person that has a purpose in life. I want to see a person that knows exactly what they want or what they want to do. I'm able to observe because when we get together, it just cuts down the work of growing together because I'm not dealing with a different person. So infatuation might be good, and you're intoxicated with a person, you want to be next to them. That's part of attraction. You're with a person because you're attracted to them, and that's not a bad thing.